Hello, and welcome to my first 3DS LP, now that I can record this stuff. Today, we're gonna start Kirby Triple Deluxe. Here we have Kirby running up a vine. The importance of this vine will be clear very shortly. But the importance of the title here, which you can move around with the gyroscope controls. But the importance of the actual title of the game, Triple Deluxe, doesn't exist. It's, just ignore what these are, too, because I'll get to that. This is just a file select screen. On the bottom, we've got this going on. Please ignore the file 1, also. Anyway, as I was saying, Triple Deluxe doesn't really mean anything, except that it's two puns because Triple Deluxe, and it's in 3D, and also DDD is very important in this game, and he is 3Ds as well. So, yeah, that's it. That's the only reason it's called that. Anyway, let's begin the story mode. Whoop. That thing on the bottom screen right now. Here we have Scenic Kirby's house, as canonically designed in Superstar, I guess. Kirby has a carefree day ahead of him every day, pretty much, because he's a lazy slacker with no job. Yeah. But one night, when Kirby is sleeping, as he does, oh no, someone has spread kudzu to Dreamland. It's growing all over the place. Nah, it's just some sort of weird magical beanstalk or something. This would be quite a thing to wake up to, I think. Kirby, please, watch your step. Looks like King DDD's house was also taken by the giant kudzu attack. And who's this mysterious fellow? Well, he's better than Waddle Dee's, that's for sure. King DDD, where is your hammer when you need it? And how many times do you have to repair your ceiling? So here we go. King DDD has been abducted by mysterious alien forces after mysterious plant forces did mysterious things. And now we have to go save King DDD, I guess. Kirby's a pal like that. So, welcome to the world map. World 1 is named Fine Fields. On the bottom screen we have lives counter, star counter, collect enough of those you get lives. A mysterious collectibles thingamajig, which is not really mysterious because it explains directly below it that those are sunstones. A thing about keychains, and, well, pause and quit. We'll get to things as we get to things, how about? Let's start the first level of the game. During actual gameplay, the bottom screen looks like this. It's still got the lives and the stars. It displays how many sunstones you've collected out of the ones in the stage. And it's got this big thing in the middle that doesn't mean anything quite yet. Also, it has the button to drop your ability, but you can still do that with other buttons too, so... There are some stars. Press the A button to jump. This is a warp star. It makes you go somewhere else in a cinematic manner. Kirby is not distressed enough by the kidnapping of King Dedede to prevent him from turning to the screen and waving. So these are the fine fields, I suspect. Press B to inhale. When you've got an enemy inhaled, you can spit them out by pressing B again. You can also duck to swallow them. Standard Kirby stuff. In fact, the pause screen educates us about this. Inhale enemies to acquire their abilities, and then perform a variety of moves. Now go climb the Dreamstalk and rescue King Dedede. Jump, inhale, swallow, copy, slide, etc., etc. Yeah. Kirby can dodge and stuff too. I think that's relatively new. Blocking is old as Kirby Superstar though. And there's a swallow. And there's nothing up there, it's just a platform hanging in the sky for the purposes of suspending a Waddle Dee. Sliding is more useful than you might think, mostly as a means of destroying obstacles. And here's our first power. Sword, the undisputed king of melee weapons. I don't know, I'd dispute that. Drill stab, down thrust, spin slash, the list goes on. Finish with a sword dive, and then raise your blade to the heavens and let out a war cry. We've got a variety of moves. Overhead slash, sword beam, multi-sword, drill stab, sword spin, etc., etc. It's not too important to know all of those. Well, there goes the second ability that I could have immediately shown off. We'll get to that when we get to that. One of the main gimmicks of this game is those little warp stars that shift you between levels of foreground and background. I suppose this is to take advantage of the 3D effect. But, you know, the 3D effect never really worked well for me. Here we've got Beam, another classic Kirby ability. Unleash a sizzling beam of energy. Use the capture beam when near an enemy, or use the beam blast in midair, and then finish off your foe with a wave beam. You've got all the beam stuff that's from Kirby Superstar. Beam is still pretty cool. Let's use it for a whoop, or not. Just pulled a Smash Bros and rolled into a projectile by attempting to dodge it. Let's use Beam for a while before we get to Fire, how about? Hopefully I'll show off all the abilities and not just forget to ever grab one. Must kill all Waddle Dees. You get to feel sorry for Waddle Dees a lot in this game, actually. Here's stuff trying to attack from the background. To take advantage of that gimmick again. There's Beam's grab move, because why not? Kirby can also run over one-tile gaps, because why not? Let's get Sword back for a second. Because pineapples. I realize I'm backtracking, but... oh-ho! Sword can cut grass! What a novel concept. And here we've got a keychain, which is a collectible that doesn't really mean anything, but you can look at it. I don't think there's anything important in the grass. No actual sunstone yet. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Sword is a pretty fun power. And unfortunately, Clean has never been a power after Dreamland 3 as far as I know. So those broom guys don't do anything. Spark! Mash on the control pad, charge up your power, and create an energy barrier. With the Spark ability, you can even fire plasma shots through the terrain. So, unlike Return to Dreamland, Spark in Triple Deluxe is mostly just Kirby Superstar Plasma. And by mostly, I mean it's entirely. I'm not a big fan of mashing directions, so I probably won't use this one too often. Oh, you can also do this, so it's not entirely. And there's another keychain. Did I miss anything over here? I want to double check. Just an energy drink. Alright. Fair enough. Really not a big fan of plasma, gotta say. The 3DS doesn't have the best circle pad or control pad technology to mash buttons on. What? Oh! The game's other principal gimmick. What be this? It is whatever that is. Superpower mode. Hypernova. Eating a miracle flute. Miracle flute, yes. Eat a flute, no. Eating a miracle fruit imbues Kirby with this special ability. After an explosion of energy, Kirby's stomach becomes a veritable black hole, allowing him to inhale giant objects. Yeah, so instead of the super abilities from Kirby Dreamland, like Super Sword or whatever, we've just got this. This is the super ability that shows up a lot during the game. The first time I played this game, I didn't actually like it that much, and this gimmick getting kinda old was one of the principal reasons for that. But playing it again, I actually like the game more than I did at first. You got a sunstone. The power of the sun lies within. Find as many as you can and open up the pathway to the boss. Yep, there's a certain number of sunstones in every level. As we can see, we have 1 out of 2 here. And, you need a certain number of them to fight the boss of the world, but if you collect all of them in the world, you also unlock a hidden stage, which has another sunstone or 2 or 3 in it itself. If you get every sunstone, all you get is a special keychain. Spoilers, but... Oh, and the best thing about the special keychain is it's a keychain of the final boss, and if you get all the sunstones as you play through the game, you get them before you actually fight the final boss, so you get spoiled by the keychain as to what the final boss actually is. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So, Hypernova does a variety of things. One of the things it does most often is pulling objects to accomplish some sort of goal or another. In this, we have to pull objects around in a specific order in order to get the other sunstone. The game is kind enough to tell us when we have all of them. One of the other things that Hypernova does most often in the game is eat every Waddle Dee ever. It's also used in puzzles like this. And by puzzles, I mean press the button and then something happens. Good job. Gold keychains like that one are especially rare keychains. They are usually of larger things and are also relatively shiny. This is the first of the Hypernova-based boss battles in the game, which show up in the middle of stages, or not at the middle, but rather at the end of certain stages that use Hypernova. Ah, he got me with that one. He's a tricky mole. But yeah, these show up from time to time. They don't get their own stages. But they are sometimes kind of interesting. This mole is rather angry. Wait for it. Ah, nuts. being impatient when it does not behoove me to do so. I guess the easiest way to get this guy would just be to throw one directly after catching it, actually, because of how his timing works. There we go. And there we have the exit door. It's been 15 minutes and we've only done one level. Levels in this game are a little bit kinda long-ish, and boss battles in this game are also longer and more complicated than usual. The goal game is relatively simple, though. That doesn't mean that I will screw it up, that I will not screw it up constantly. This usually happens. Kirby does not look pleased when you screw it up. So here we have keychains. They're just sprites from older Kirby games that we can later view as a collection, for the most part. The Star Rod is an exception to the usually bigger gold keychains thing. A lot of the times they're like bosses and stuff, you know. We don't have individual names for each stage, but whatever. Let's at least do 2 in the first video, shall we? Fine Fields, number 2. As I think I hinted at least, the going between background and foreground gimmick often has multiple layers like this. Well, it doesn't often have that many, but details. Here we've got a cave of some sort. For the record, if we had finished the last level, if we hadn't discarded a power before we got Hypernova, I think we would have had that power after the level was done. This, however, is a power new to this game. Bell. Ring dong ding dong, it's a golden bell. Shake it and a strange tone issues forth. Talk about stunning conclusions, get a load of the ding finale. So, bell is kind of an interesting power. It's a little bit weird, but hey. You can do stuff like that, and this. And this. And if you manage to hit enough with this, you can do the finale thing. Or you can do it quickly by holding up and then pressing down B. You also have this as your dash and air attack, or air dash attack. It's not a bad power, but it's a little bit weird. Oh, and here we've got another gimmick of the game, gyroscope controls. This never becomes too complicated to be annoying, so that's fine. A maximum tomato, which restores your health to max. Fancy that. Wait a minute. Do I want to double check over here, or... Let me check something for a second. Oh, okay. You don't have to hit enough with this, you just have to hit down during that. Got it. And for sticking over on this path, we accidentally... Come on, though. There's really no reason to go in the foreground, so far. Occasionally there are treasure chests. They can have things in them. It's not anything major. And there's another bell enemy in case we lost it, I guess? Does this one come back down if I wait too long? Probably not. It's too early in the game for timed gates. Not too early for cannons, though. Every time that little icon shows up, it's gyroscope time. Which you probably figured out by now. That looks important. I guess I should shoot over there. This level has 3 sunstones. Whoop, that was entirely the wrong button. I tried to jump with X for some reason. So we've got 2 of the 3 sunstones so far. Whoops. That was Whip. Come on, Whip. Come back. I love you. Well, you're okay, but... we've had Bell for too long. Gotta get some variety in here. Whip returns from Return to Dreamland. This adventurous copy ability comes with a cool hat and a whip with a long reach, allowing you to pull items and enemies to you in the snap. All whip attacks grab items. So this is pretty much the same as it was in Return to Dreamland, I think. With one of its main things being a grab, which I will probably be able to demonstrate soon enough. Also, it has a convenient up attack. These doors that have orange stars above them are always bonus areas. Here we have to make sure that we have enough water to water both of these all the way, and not accidentally spill too much of it on one side. Simple, but I guess it's probably the first thing you could call a puzzle, almost. There, all sunstones from this stage. Calm down and let me demonstrate things. Yeah, that's the grab. There's not a whole lot to show about it, I guess. That breakable block tried to be sneaky, but it wasn't very good at it. Here we've got another thing. Waddle Dee. And somebody. Bandana Waddle Dee gave you an item. Thanks for explaining for me. You'll get better items from Bandana Waddle Dee if you use Street Pass. Assist stars can be used by touching the bottom screen or pressing Y. So yeah, I have some Street Pass data for this game due to some people wandering around on campus. This big star thing in the center of the bottom screen that I said didn't have a purpose yet, now has a purpose. You can store certain items in there that Waddle Dee gives you in order to use them later. Oh, and fire's here, we might as well use that. A flaming ability that burns white hot. Light the fuse, roll into a fireball, and scorch through the air with a bang. Embrace the blistering flames of Fireball Inferno. Fire is mostly like it is in Superstar, which means it's pretty decent. Also, when Bandana Waddle Dee shows up, that always means there's a boss. Or at least a mini-boss. Good old Mr. Frosty is back. Oops. Mini-bosses naturally have new attacks catering to the 3D gimmick of the game. Though I don't think you ever actually switch between foreground and background during a mini-boss battle. Mr. Frosty, of course, gives us ice. Freeze enemies with ice breath and send them packing with an ice kick. You can also glide gracefully along the ground with ice skate. Again, mostly like the way it works in Superstar. I really like the ice power. It's pretty neat. Also, there's a sneaky keychain up there, which I remembered somehow. Can we do the bonus minigame properly this time? Yes! Just barely. The farther you shoot, the more dancing Kirby does, the happier he is. And also, if you go all the way, you get a keychain for your efforts. Gordo. X-Knight. Gator. Leap. Dynablade. Boxin'. Amazing mirror enemies could have used better names. Probably. But with the intro and the first two stages out of the way, that's enough for part 1. Stay tuned for more Kirby Triple Deluxe.